Mauri ora ki te rangi, mauri ora ki te whenua, mauri ora kia koutou katoa, ko hono mai ki tēnei o ngā wāhi kapo kōrero, ngā kiriata, ki roto pū o tēnei wāhi whare wira nei, te haukainga, e kawe nei mātou, I kawe nei mātou tēnei whare ki konei mai te kainga. Te haukainga. Engari, kei konei, ke takutaha, nei whanaunga a tāhuara wā atu, no tātou katoa o te kainga. Tēnā kua whakamohio mai ko wai koutou, anō nei nohea koutou.
Kia tū koe tuatai.
Kia ora tātou ko te Huaki Puanaki taku ingoa, junior hu. Me ki ko tērā o ngā kāinga o Matawai, ko hikorangi anō ku te maunga, ko kaumare te awa, ko ngā tuki nota whaaro te waka, ko miri anō ki te whare kai, ko te rangi maari e te whare tupuna, nā ko hau tēnei. Ko ngā tihine te hapu o roto o Ngāpuhi. Tā taku pāpa ko whakapuna ki te maunga ko te wairua hōpupu ho ninga matangero te awa, ko take tino ana hoki te waka, ko ngā te kaunguni ki te wairua te imu. Kia ora tātou.
Tēnā koe.
Kia ora tātou, mihi atu nei, kia koutou e whakarongo mai nei, ki tēnei reo, o ngā tika hunu, nō reira ko taku ingo ko te Huaki Murimu Puanaki, kua hau te pāpo o te Huaki Junior, engari tako hōranga tira ko te, tēnei ka mihi, kia koe koutou.
Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. Kaua o te kane. Tako usual. Ka ere koutou tēnei. Tēnā koutou. Te hunga o te haukainga. Ko Tihi tēnei, mai Matawaia, mai te whānau, ngā mangu, ngā paraha, ngā kapa. Ena no Matawaia te tangata, ngā tātou katoa, ne ka heke mai ngā kapa. Koe tēnā taku kōrero i ngā wakatoa, ngā whanaunga. Nā reira, tēnā kourua, aru nei i ahau, i a mātai, ngāri mau, ngāri tēnei wā, nā reira no mātai te akunore.
Tēnā koe. Anō nei, you know, kua roa te wiki, he maha ngā āhuatanga o tēnei wiki, engari pēr me timata, ki ngā rā o mua. Well, actually, can I just say I'm total fangirling boying right now because I remember sitting at ngā te ahuareka o ngā tihine when you all sung together and I'm just like, oh my God. But it's, you know, I just, horeka he kupu te whakaatu, te whakahua I te aroha I roto I te tātou whare I tēnei wāpunu, mō kuake anyway. E mahara tonu ana ki aku kaumātua koe o te kāinga. Tētahi aku kaumātua ko Rihari Thomas I noho ki Moerewa. Anō nei ko harata tana hoaranga tira. Nō reira ngā horonga maha ki roto ngā tihine mō kuake. Hakoa tēnei wāhi kōtiro nō roto o Panguri Papata. No te kāinga o whakarapa. Performing kapa haka I kua tū koutou katoa? Ai, mō te hea ropu.
Okay,
E hea.
Mātira. O ma papa.
Ma papa.
O te ropu.
Ko te wātou ropu I taua wā.
Tēnei wā.
Tēnei wā.
Me tēnei wā. A kua te ropu o te kotai tanga ki waita.
Kia ora.
Engari I taua wā ko Hori Brenni ko I te tahi hara mai te tahi a mātou te whakamahi nei te tahi program o mātou ropu. Nā ko tērā tau o te ko tahi rau iwa iwa rau whitu te kama whitu, 1977. And tawa wā I roto tawa wā kaore te Matatini ko te Matatini whistle I tawa wā, 1977, and te tai rāwhiti, and mahara nei au, ki te kuini hara mai ana, no I ngā rangi, wera āwhatanga katoa.
Well, what was the main thing about 77?
I wini
mātou.
And ko mātou te ropu laka I tēnei wā, e wini te te mai te Polynesian Festival.
O te Waipanuma.
Ai, nā reira kia ora te whānau, ono, ko te Huaki Junior, tēnei te kōrero nei, ono, tāpiri atu ngā kōrero ki taku pāpā, i te ara te tau tau whitu te kaumā whitu, i eke rātou ki te mātangirua nā i toa mai rātou i tērā o ngā tau. Nā reira, i a koe kōrero nei, o te kapa haka nei, ko tō mātou nei ropu, e hare tonu nei, e haka tonu nei ngā tokorua nei, maku mātua, e haka tonu nei, nā reira, i a koe kōrero nei, e kei te haka tonu, kei te tūtonu mātou, kei te tūtonu mātou, e tēnei wā ke te whāngai ngā kōrero, ngā mahi, ngā kupu, ngā te reo, ko mātou me ki ko mātou e awhi nei ngā mea e timatanga tā rātou hikoe ki roto i te reo me ngā tikanga. Nā reira, ko koe o te tau o mātou ni mahi i roto o te tei tēnei wā. Engari, ka hoke mai ke tēnō, ngā kaupapa o te Matatini nei nā. Tāhua, tāhua ngā mahi te kite atu. I rongo au te tau ngā whaia, mea nā, e te tū tonu, a poe he ko mutu ke mātou, ngari mātou, no, haka tonu ana. I tēnei wā tonu, mea tu mātou nā reira.
And we are 50 years old.
Wow.
Te ropu, ka whakawao ko rangatu.
Anga atu,
And pera te roa. Maua i o tauta, maua ana ka whānau mai aku mātou. Me o mātou whāngai. Engari, lima te koutou, but te mea e tonu ana wa mātou hono ki te kāinga. I te mea kei kono tonu te kāinga. Te whānau. A moe mā mea mā tālia mā, ngā mea koro nei koe. Kei reira alāti mā, a tūkā mā. So nā reira, nā tērā i tonu, ka tonu mātou. Ka he kāinga kei reira, he te hoki atu. Kei reira te kāinga, kei reira te whānau.
You know, and that too, though, I've seen so many of our younger generation coming through, you know, taku reanga nei, rangatahi ake. But I've also noticed there are still some of our experienced old hands, and I don't know if that's the right terminology, to be quite honest, still leading each of those ropu, you know, pushing them, all of these young ones, us young ones through. But also I think I've noticed there's like the mokopuna generation now of some of, you know, the OGs me ki, Huarima te koutou kapa. A lot of tamariki in that though, those tau, you know.
We're on the fourth generation now.
Ai, awe.
Ki ko koe, ko maua, ko koe, and if you'd had children, then your age are having children and they're having children. Engari, so just go back to the kotahita question. And so, but our whole function, you know, I do that, overthink sometimes. And I think that's one of the reasons te no whakapono ki te haka hei huarahi, whakakaha Māori. So you got all this thing about, it gives them something to do, and then they keep them out of mischief and all that. For me, it's beyond that, because beyond that, that's one of them. And it's just so empowering. And every kid that we've had come through, e kaha. So ki te kia, and e kaha rote te ao Māori, kaha rote te reo, ngā tika te mea, kaha i a wairua nei, kaha i rote tana hahi, and been educated. I've seen it. And so, koe tēnā, I think koe tēnā te tei o ngā tino take. And so, mātua mā, rangatai mā, and so we're getting, our function has changed, because kare mātou e whakataitai nā. Of course, we health issues over the past few years, but ka hoki ki tērā pēng. And we keep saying, you know, we're these ones that say we're going to go home, and the whānau go, what age? And so the call has been there. Always there. And ko ngai o mai e te tū te rā nei mea na, tatari ana mātou, you know, ko ia nei. Engari, and we would, because that's why we do it, because it is the most empowering kia mātou. One of the most empowering things. And I always go on about, you to ask about the things to become a judge. And they know that I like things to be done properly. Properly, because it, you know, he mahi mahi manaki tangata. And nā reira, me tika te mahi, even when he does he's got his own whakaaro, when he does his singing, kore oe tautoko ina tū kore take te tangata, and e harai te mea, ka iti tō mana, tō mahi he manaki tangata. Ia koe tuana ki te haka ngahau, nā reira, me tika, kau koe whakaiti tō manuhiri, nā me te mea no hoki, oe tai tangata, pera ia koutanga mei hare mai te matakitaki iaia, me puao, me tui mua iaia i te ramuki. And me tūkaha. Kia kore te tangata e whakamā te tiro, but e te mea e manaki, e mahi manaki, so I've got a big thing about that matau. And e pēne taraua, and pēna tunua ia nā neko pakeke, or ia te boss. And me tika mahi whakariti rata on time, you know, those sort of things. So you're saying the rangatahi, there's a lot of rangatahi, love the romance of it, and love that man, love it. And so, and Tihi's role is to remind people, you know, tatu whae, auntie nannies, is to remind people, I do it nicely, eh? That it's a commitment and kia u. I do it nicely, eh?
Oh.
Yeah, okay. And hopefully ki tēnā koe tamata, ta koe whakapono. Ei, ki te kaupapa, but wai mari a hau, taku hoa ka koro maua, i te mea, ngā mea pai I puta ke mate u. I'll say it in English, eh? So, because we you stick to something, you fellas will know, you get benefits. But you don't stick to it. I might have gone off track. Eh?
No,
you don't stick to it to get the benefits.
Aye.
You stick to it because you love it and the feelings you get from it.
Aye.
But tātou ma, you get benefits.
Aye.
We've had overseas travel.
Aye,
Lots of overseas travel because, hera tere te whakahihi, it's just to do...
Anā ko ngā hua.
Ko ngā hua.
I was talking about relationships within a rōpū.
Yeah.
And as you speak about manaki, and I was talking to some of our whānau outside actually about that, you know that saying, got backs all day kind of thing. It's kind of a recent kupu.
Yeah.
But that āhuatanga of a kaitātaki, tāne mai, wahine mai, and the relationship of a rōpū.
Yes.
I don't know what the pātai is there, but what are your whakaaro on that, you know, in terms of manaki relationships, all those things?
Do you want to let him?
But I like the koro of Tamahere when he had his, when he koro ki Tihi is that you, what is it, he sort of said things like, you can love them and everything else that goes with it. But hey, there was a but to it. And you don't have to really, what is it?
So can I come in? Yeah. So he was talking about family relationships and then friendships. Yeah. And then he said, I encourage everybody if you can go and hear him. Oh man, he's so inspirational. And he says, look, we'll survive on aroha. We must aroha. And not bullshit aroha. Survive on aroha. You don't have to like them, but you love them.
And because most of our koro mai te taha mihi nare, so they made us crack up even more. But kei te koro mai te taha mihi nare goes, you know, the Lord, he was, you know, koro mo tērā taha, mo te, you know, whakapono mera, me goes, no, the Lord said, you know, you have to love thy neighbour, but he didn't command us to like them. So, you know, kata mai ngā mea maora, ngā mea o ngapu,
And you think about your own whānau, wiki tāu ake whānau, ka we tai waka, pukuriri, lika tātou ki a lātou, and tino kino e tai wā, engari, ki te whara taua tuahine tungane or whatever. You love them, all right? Yeah. Wale koe te kino. Pera ngā relationship, but we got tāne wahine rangatai, tāne wahine tēnei reanga. And what happens is you get better, actually. You might see that with your own. I think it does, eh?
Nā, ngā
They-
pupai.
and with they waka ara mai, and I go, morning, he goes, morning mama, and I go, I'm supposed to be angry with you, aren't I? What talk about liking or disliking, but
Yeah.
talking relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships.
And in the haka group is they build up, and I think and unless you've been in there or you've been in Makam and you can relate, you're relating to because you have to, because you're spending hours training, and another thing I say to tutors is that because the training gets heavy, but I'm a teacher too. And I believe in good teaching. But even when we haka, so that it's not, so I'll say, hey, he's there, and now I'll say, we're going to drill a bit, but really it's our responsibility as teachers to actually make it interesting for drilling. Otherwise, some people,
Again.
that's for, yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And then I'll say things like, you don't see it, but we do. So, you haka pati or coercing, or whatever the word is, to actually keep them motivated. That's important too.
Yeah. But also it's good for them to step away from the group and watch the rest. Then they get an idea of what they should be doing. The mai arika with that.
Like somebody,
and that's what we do that too as well.
Somebody,
because sometimes they can be so lost in kapa that they actually don't see themselves unless you put them out there to look at the rest of the group, and then they go, now I can see.
Like today,
My hands,
one of the judges saw her family group. I won't say her name. And she was moaning about the group. About a group. And I'm disappointed. And I went, shut up. they were actually good. You're just so hard on yourself. And of course, I know I'm one of the worst too when they're doing a big performance. I'm on the side.
As a kaihaka, and I think firstly, totally gutted that Muri Whenua didn't get in today.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Muri's, but honestly, I found it very hard to put my reaction into kupu in terms of their performance today.
Yeah.
And that says a lot for me because I love to talk, right?
Yeah.
But
you, Mamae?
I was gutted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was absolutely gutted. So now I want to know, how does the kaihaka do their thing?
Yeah. So back to the whakawā. And so we've been around a long time, and I think that's the thing, when you've been around a while, and people see and know your know of you and your work, and and it comes from the regions. So the nominations come from the regions, and it's new now. I don't know if you know that, and it goes to the Matatini right now, and they whiri who they have a community of people that whiri the judges, and then they whakatau them, and it's sometimes it's you can debate. I've been, of course, I've been around a long time, so when we're debating at regional level, and I'll sort of preface my kōrero by saying, what I say is not personal attacks, but you got but maybe if you pick out your judges or coaches for wakaama and that process, and so. And then, but they get to, because we've been around a long time, so the team gets to accept what we say, and of course also you're not being mean. You can't be mean about it, because we're all in the game. And so your name goes up, and then you get nominated, and then they get a bit of training. Not enough training. That's one of the things we they're going to put in place, I think, because their system that's a long story. And so we were finding, so my job, which I quite enjoyed this round, but I like the judging too. So I like to to,
Mm.
and I usually like judging whakaeke.
Oh, yeah.
We like to be way. People think, oh, kuia, oh, she can't do whakaeke, put them on more whatever, and and waiataringa, you know, that sort of thing. So because it's creative, yeah.
Especially with the judging system of giving 100 points to a group, it's got to be really justified. Because what happens is any judge can just give out 100,
Yeah.
and then you know, and you know a standard as a group. You'll know the standard of groups that they go in, and so if they get it like waka, you know, for example, wakahuia, if they get 100, well, you know they've been in for a long time and they are very high standard. But then when you get another judge that judges, and they go, oh, 100 for a group that maybe just started, and then you sort of weigh up, are they just as good as them, or and you still giving them 100 as well? And see, a lot of judges that judge think that, you know, you want to be favour whatever and don't want to be criticised. That needs to be looked at anyway.
Yeah. And they say that, and they're very good too. And of course, it's the Olympic system. They knock off the lowest and the highest, the highest mark. But you know, that's the technical stuff. Yeah.
Individually, what would your hot tips be for one, creation of, you know, waiata, 2, how to stay on that huarahi of commitment? You're 50 years down the road now. Ara no e tahi atu tau. And what do you enjoy most about just haka Māori being amazing? Yeah.
I'll start and then I'll shut up. Is what has kept us going? Well, firstly, that you have to, I don't know, I was going to say you have to acknowledge you've been given gifts. Not whakahihi, you actually get to recognize you can talk. And that, right? Because I remember when we used to hui whānau, and I was brought up Mormon with the Witehiras.
Oh, kia ora.
Yeah. And that's by the by. And ka hui mātou, ka mea mai mahuma, kōtiro tū mai, you know, ka hui mātou, ka tohu mai rātou kia tūahau, o kia mātou. And so that started then. And then and your track in your life takes you somewhere and you don't recognize it, You don't recognize it, but you keep doing it because you like doing it,
Yeah.
So I was always a performer. And my whānau called Tihi, drama queen, or I used to be in plays at school.
Literally drama queen.
Drama queen. And so I kept doing those things. And then ka heke au ki o tautahi. And then that became the vehicle. Yeah. So was I always bossy? Well, I was a teacher.
Just kei kona te momo, mai ngā whaia, mai ngā kuia ngā kaumatoa.
And you get
And then
doing
ka aki, engari ko tā rātou kaupapa, ka whakapono ki te reo Māori, ka whakapono
kia
ki
koe.
kia koe, ki ngā tikanga Māori. Engari, no big deal about it. It was just kia u.
No teka.
No teka. Kaua
Don't make
teka.
it.
Yes. Kia u ki te kaupapa, and whakapono. There's no other, you know, don't self-doubt. It's whakapono ki te kaupapa, kia u. Koina, and then nare runga tērā momo whakaora me tērā āhua. Nā, ko heke mai, tai ki ngā Matatini mahi, nā, ko tau ara kōrero rano, me era whakaro, ko whakapō mai, rātou i roto ngā matua. Ngā aunties and me ngā taumati te kā. Whakapō i roto era mea, nā, kei te whanga era whakaro, kua mātou nei, you know, Kaihaka, but ki ngā mea Māori e hiha nei, kia mau Māori mai tara te ao. Marera, me te ara whakapono, kia u,
Yep.
You just talk again, because I just love it.
Yeah, there's
Mea haere
a lot.
kia koe, I can go to interest.
Oh.
Well,
I enjoy
this
most.
one here, I'll say it, is our
creation,
biggest
the creation.
supporter.
Mm.
He comes to haka, we're the mouths.
Well,
We're the mouths.
ia koe koro nei mo te creation, nei
Yeah.
awaiatas, me te, ko mawa fo māma e koro nei mo te kaupapa ka rapu, ngā kaupapa tino ngākau nui nei ki te ngākau, you know, and
No, it's Māori.
Yeah.
They're Māori,
they
but we.
always, yeah, and then but we always find a papa that will link, and then nā ka tamai ko ngā oro, and we into our own, making our own tunes. We get inspired by other tunes, but you make your own, you know, and then it goes back to that thing of, you know, not only about just te Māori te tū, but it's about whakapono ki te ao Māori, te tananga, te oranga mō tate. So, and then, ko Papa nei, he's usually the one just outside of the circle.
I'm the critic.
Yeah. But he's the one that tells us straight, what e take me te now.
Oh, he'll go. And not being grumpy or
No,
nothing, he goes,
straight
oh,
up.
chuck that out. No, chuck that out. Don't think. Or he'll come in and go, hey, I can feel the potential. I can feel the potential. So, but I wanted to talk, I'm conscious of the time. And I wanted to tell him about you in our haka group. I won't say how old it is, but ko kaumātua, mātou, maua, and he's the one that says, come on you two, get moving. You know, he's the motivator for the haka. He can be maruke other times. But we really appreciate that.
Yeah,
And then we haka, and he's still playing the guitar and that. And but that's our kora with the older people. We say, we got a lot of living to do. Stop being slack.
Sure.
So we said to the kaumātua, we just went down the other day to take a kaumātua kwaia. And the kaumātua, so I'm in the same bracket as them. I say, right, when I come in, I want you to perk up. I don't want you looking slack. You know, I'm putting energy in, you put energy in too. Because they go there and
Oh.
yeah, but it's fun, you know.
Yeah, hana.
Good time, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, Huaki, your turn.
Oh,
I think we're going to let them go.
E runga i tēnā, e mihi ana kia koutou. It's been, honestly, I don't know, we do have to do this again because I feel like I've just, all these pātai in my head. Engari e mihi ana kia koutou te whānau ko. I whai wā te noho mai te mātataha. And it's alright for us because we could be just doing this anyway, but kua roa te rā, kua roa te wiki. Engari e mihi marika ana kia koutou katoa. Thank you so much.
Kia koutou hoki.